Hello, this is Steven and we're back with another Batman 66 episode review. Today, we'll be reviewing the episode, The Joker's Hard Times, the second part in this three-parter. Without further ado, let's get into the review. When we last left off Batman and Robin, they were bound underneath a giant meteorite boulder, soon to be dropped upon them when released by a burning thermite fuse. Now, Batman manages to free his own hands and takes a batarang out of his utility belt and tosses it at the burning thermite. Breaking off a piece, Batman frees himself and uses the bat knife to cut Robin loose, and they quickly escape seconds before the Great Stone drops. Now, I like that the batarang is being used. It's been I'm pretty sure it's been a while since it's actually been used, but I like that it is. We then go back to Police Commissioner Gordon's office, with the Joker, believing that the duo are dead, it still plans to finish and continue his Zodiac crime spree. First off, he ends up going to Police Commissioner Gordon's office, where he's there taunting them that he plans to steal the statue of Justice Libera, worth a fortune in Carrara marble. Now, from outside, he manages to use some kind of thing to cause Commissioner Gordon, Chief of Howard, to be remain still. He then goes outside the police HQ and has his men essentially steal the statue. But just as Batman and Commissioner Gordon, Chief Howard come out of their, stasis, they then sound all the alarm. The Joker then quickly gets into a police car, puts on a hat, and tries to pose himself as a policeman. And I'm cracking up that these guys actually are buying it. It's silly, it's stupid, but it's funny nonetheless. Batman and Robin are then in the Batmobile driving and tune into the police radio to find if anything new has been happening. The Joker, still pretending to be a police officer, essentially leads everyone on a wild goose chase all over Gotham City by broadcasting bogus instructions on the police citizens brand channel, essentially telling everyone where to go where. But Batman manages to figure it out, it's not real, and tells them to ignore orders. The Joker, surprised, is still alive, but reveals that his assistant Venus plans to steal the jeweled Scorpio. And she does. Batman and Robin arrive late just as she's made her escape, but they realize what they need to do is figure out where the Joker and his crew will be striking next. They realize he will then be going to Basil Bowman, basically Satigeris, something to do with the Zodiac. When the Joker and his crew arrive to kidnap them, Batman and Robin arrive, and even though Venus tells the Joker and his crew not to fight, Batman says don't worry, be out of the way. Joker grabs her and threatens her with a knife at her throat. Wow, did that escalate. I'm seeing a little bit of the classic Joker, and says that that they would leave and there'll be a more appropriate place for a showdown. Venus, realizing the Joker is not to be trusted, defects to the dynamic duo as such. She then leads the dynamic duo to some recording shop, where they find Leo Crustacean held prisoner, and a bat fight breaks out. It's a little bit silly how they're just basically throwing record discs, but it's funny. They then find out that the Joker has essentially cashed the ransom check, and he and his crew have made their escape. He then finds out that the Joker plans to steal two rare Phalaenopsis delphis fish, Pisces. And basically these are these rare fish who are on exhibit at Gotham City Park Fountain. I'm not kidding, they're literally in a park fountain, but they're very rare, so I'm questioning why, but hey. Anyway, just as that's happening, the Joker and his men quickly show up and start throwing red herrings at everyone and steal one of the fish and make their escape. Batman and Robin quickly get in the Batmobile and chase them. And we do get this nice chase, but it turns out Venus has quickly been kidnapped by one of the Joker's men. They pretty much are en route to the Joker's hideout at a warehouse, where the Joker's men are essentially kidnap Batman and Robin under a net, and Venus there too. They then take him to essentially this episode's death trap, where they are put in a water-filled tank along with Venus and prepared to be eaten by a giant clam. And the Joker and his men pretty much make their depart to continue with their crime spree, whilst the clam actually ends up swallowing Robin. And that is our cliffhanger, saying tune in for next week. Next week, pretty much indicating this is truly a three-parter. Again, we spend more time with Batman and Robin in this episode than pretty much the main cast. I love the little moments we get with them, and Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, that little scene, it's silly how that happened, and you're questioning why I didn't arrest them, but then again, this is Animania Land, you're not supposed to take it seriously. But of course, let's talk about the villain of this piece. Cesar Romero is the Joker for this show. While not a classic joke, the Joker that's more modern, for modern comics, the light-hearted interpretation does show a lot of the more modern Joker. He threatened to pretty much kill his female assistant with a knife at her throat. I don't think we've ever seen that with any other villain. And he genuinely did believe that Batman was dead, but didn't care, wanted to go on with his crimes. I like to think that this is arguably the Joker's most ambitious crimes, basically robbing everything all over the city for his own amusement. And to be fair, it's nonsensical, but it works in Joker's twisted mind. Interesting, Penguin doesn't come back for this second part, but he will for the third part. Overall, this is very good, and I like how it's transitioning into a third part. Overall, I like this episode very much. The Joker's Hard Times for me is still a pretty good episode. For many people, they consider that basically soon to be, when we complete actually reviewing this whole three-parter, to be the best episode of the series. I kind of agree. It's definitely one of my favorites. And Hard Times certainly is progressing the story quite along very good. And that's why I like it so much. And there's nothing really more to say, but it's continuing the story, but still making you feel the adventure and the excitement that any Batman episode should. And that's all I can say. And there we have it. That's the Joker's Hard Times. Join us next time in The Penguin Declines, the final part to this three-parter. Until next time, tune in to the same Steven hour and the same Steven time, ladies and gentlemen. So long for now.